I did not have anybody in our advisory group get killed until probably about 8th month, somewhere around November. We were out in a combat operation, and as a young lieutenant, I learned a lot of stuff on the book, but no matter how much training you do, you can go out to the firing range. You can go out and have activities where you have what they call umpires, and they have the little white tabs. You're running a combat mission, and you deploy your forces, and that's okay. You're killed, and you're killed. But when you get into combat, the whole picture changes. Until the bullets start flying, you really haven't learned anything. And I can remember there was a canal. The battalion commander decided to put 2 companies on one side of the canal and 2 companies on the other. At that time, since I've been an advisor, I felt that, I'm here. If I can crouch down, I'm going to be the same size as the Vietnamese, and nobody's going to know the difference. And so we were going out there in the field, and all of a sudden, I looked at the right side, and here's another American advisor, and all these guys are little, and the advisor's sticking out there like a sore thumb. I said, I guess we can't really make ourselves as small as the Vietnamese. So anyway, there was the captain and one of the other sergeants was on one side, and I was with another sergeant. And we started going across, following the canal, and then all of a sudden the fighting broke out like crazy. And distinctly remember that there was a big old ditch in there, and the Vietnamese said, look, we're going to get overrun. We need to move. So we started going forward, and the bullets just started coming back like crazy. The Vietnamese said, no, we got to go from here. We got to go over to that other drainage ditch. So I jumped into the canal, and all of a sudden I hear, sir, I've been hit. And this was Sergeant Bell. As we were running, I looked back, and Sergeant Bell said he'd been hit, but he's running as fast as I am. I drove into the river when he said he'd been hit, and he said, sir, I'm not going to go in there. He said, I don't want that dirty water to get in that wound. So I got back out of the canal, and then we started running towards the ditch that all the Vietnamese were going to. When I got there, I lifted up his shirt, and the wound it started to swell. And he said, oh, sir, this thing hurts like crazy. He said, I don't know, I can't stand it anymore. I said, Sergeant Bell, I said, from my medical experience, they said that wound did not go all the way through. And what had happened, he had gotten a ricochet, from the tree, and that's what it embedded, so it didn't go through his entire body. But he said, Dad, he said, oh, I can't take this anymore. So I called for a medevac, and by this time the firing had stopped. I got the helicopter, and the Vietnamese, that was their lifestyle. Say guys got wounded, they'd go back to the field, they'd get patched up, and they'd go right back out to the operational arena. So when I got Sergeant Bell out to the helicopter for the medical evacuation, the Vietnamese, about 6 of them, started to pile in with him. And I asked the pilot, I said, can you handle this? Yeah, he said, we got this. So I see him going with Sergeant Bell, and then all of a sudden the helicopter skids, hitting the tree. Oh, my God. I said, I need to have a recovery unit, so we got to get the helicopter because I think it just went down. And then on the radio, they said, okay, we're airborne, we're going to the hospital. I said, okay, thank God we made it. But come to find out, after we did the evaluation, what had happened is that the Viet Cong had captured some farmers, and they had them in a shack at the nose of the little island. So the area that we were in is where the Viet Cong had been, and what they had done is they had fired at the Rangers, and they had fired at us, so then we ended up firing at each other, the 2 friendly units. Fortunately, nobody got killed, but I remembered that lesson. I said, when you're out there, you can control the units that are within your capability, but don't try to bring in somebody from the outside. The enemy's going to get between you, and then he's going to fire, at both sides, and then the 2 friendlies are shooting at each other, and the enemy is escaping. When we finally got to the shack, we found that a couple of the farmers had gotten killed, and there were 3 of them were wounded. We patched them up, and another Viet Cong. No, we're gone. That was my first experience of somebody getting hit. And what was interesting, the saying went that when you have 8 months in country, two things are going to happen. Either you're going to get killed or you're going to get wounded. When Sergeant Bell had his 8th month, that's when he got wounded. And he went to the hospital. He got patched up, and he says, "Hey, I'm not coming back." He says, "I'm getting too short." He had something like a month to go, so he didn't come back to the unit.